Pokebabs! Hey guys, welcome back to Pokebabs. We're doing another Talonflame Tuesday today, and we're going to be looking at Talonflame Swampert deck. Now, we do know what Talonflame does. We've highlighted it before, but just to go over it again, the Gale Wings ability allows you to start with this Pokemon as your active if it's in your opening hand, and it's just a great setup Pokemon. Now, last time we paired it with Delphox Break, and this time we're going to be looking at another Stage 2. It's good with Stage 2s or decks that need a little more setup, and so we're going to look at this Swampert here. It's from Primal Clash, and it's actually got a few cool things about it. So it's got 140 HP, and it's got this ancient trait, Alpha Growth, which says that when you attach an energy card from your hand to this Pokemon, you may attach 2 energy cards. And the cool thing is it just says energy cards, so it could be any type of energy card you want. It could be a special energy, could be a basic energy. And so it's nice, especially since it takes 3 energy to attack. It helps in setting them up, for sure. It helps a lot in setting them up. So it's also got this great ability, Diving Search. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a card, shuffle your deck, then put that card on top of it. So this is really great. It's kind of like a computer search, except for that you can use it every turn, and you draw into it the next turn, or if you have some way of drawing into it otherwise. Like you could Diving Search before you play a Juniper or something like that, or a Sycamore. Now, the attack is Hydro Pump. It's very similar to Keldeo-EX's Secret Sword, except for instead of doing 50 plus 30 for each water, it does 40 plus 30 for each water. So it's definitely a solid attack. 50 would be better, but it's still good. It means you can do just for the three energy attached, you're doing 130. Or if it's just 3 waters attached, then yeah, it's 130, and so that does allow you to knock out like Shaymin-EX, for example. And yeah, I mean, the difference is it adds 30 instead of 20, so that's the difference also from Secret Sword. But it makes a big difference, and allows for 2-hit knockout, especially when you set up with Talonflame. The Mudkip and the Marshtomp don't have very much unique about them, but they do use water energy, so we can at least attack if we need to. We're also playing one Manaphy-EX. The reason being, Swampert does have 3 retreat cost. So it's high retreat cost, and if we want to utilize healing like with Rough Seas, then it helps to be able to retreat between Swamperts. Now, of course, Dive Ball is a fantastic search card for water decks, the best search card you can have. Everything is searchable by Dive Ball except for obviously Talonflame, which you're not going to be searching out. We have 2 Level Ball, help you get those lower stages of the Swampert line. And we're going to be playing a couple different cards to allow us to get 2 water energies into our hand so we can Alpha Growth. We're playing 1 Professor's Letter, so we can grab 2 water energy from our deck. And we're also playing 1 Energy Retrieval, which allows us to get 2 water from our discard pile. In addition to that, we're going to be playing a Super Rod to get back energy and Pokemon, as well as a Fisherman to get back energy. And so we can always Fisherman, and then if there's at least 2 energy, then we can use Alpha Growth. So that's kind of nice there. We're going to play 4 Puzzle of Time, and there's a couple reasons for that. One, you can grab Puzzle of Time with Talonflame, and that does happen on occasion if it's a little bit later in the game and you still have a Talonflame preserved. Other reason is that if you have one in your hand, you can Diving Search for the second one, and then as long as your opponent doesn't N or judge you or red card you or something like that that affects your hand or your deck, then you're going to draw into it, and then you'll have your double puzzle. So you can kind of set yourself up for good turns later in the game. We're playing 1 Ace Trainer because we can get behind in this kind of a deck. So we are going to play 1 Ace Trainer. It's great when your opponent goes down 1 prize and it's 5 to 6. You can put them down to 3 cards, which is actually better than N, while you draw 6. And then late game, it can be really good too. If your opponent has 2 prizes left, for example, and you have 3 prizes left, you actually draw 6 with an Ace Trainer instead of 3 for an N. That said, we are still going to play 2 N. We're also going to play a Lysandre 3 Sycamore, you don't really need to discard through as much with this deck. You don't want to discard a lot of your resources, but you also don't need to because you're always going to be able to get what you need with Swampert. We're also going to play 1 Skyla because we are playing these 4 rare candies. And Skyla is good for a few different things. Could help you get the Professor's Letter, Energy Retrieval, whatever you need to get that alpha growth off. In addition, we are going to be playing a couple tools. One is going to be this EXP share. We did use this in the Delphox deck as well, and it's great because it does allow you to attach energy, or if a Pokemon gets knocked out, then the energy, basic energy, can go onto the backup attacker. In addition, we're going to play 1 Healing Scarf. Now this deck is obviously not the most competitive, so I decided to tech in something that's just kind of fun. Healing Scarf, whenever you attach an energy from your hand to this Pokemon, you heal 20 damage from it. And so since we can double attach to Swampert, we can heal 40 damage, plus Rough Seas, that equals 70 damage in 1 turn, which can really set things back for an opponent that is trying to 2-hit these Swamperts. Then our energy line we've got is so we're playing 2 Splash Energy, and Splash Energy is great in this deck. 1, because we can still attach it with the alpha growth, and the other reason being, again, when you get a whole line knocked out, it can be hard to recover, but say, for example, you have a Marshtomp on the bench, and then in the active you had a Swampert that you rare candied into. If you have a Splash Energy on it and then they knock you out, you get the Swampert back, then you can evolve the following turn onto Marshtomp, and then you might even be able to preserve energy with EXP share, so that's great. And we're going to play 8 water energy, which should be enough for our purposes, and of course 4 VS Seeker in there as well. So let's go take a look and see if we can get a win here with this deck. It's a lot of fun, especially using that diving search and being able to get cards that you want in your hand. So let's go take a look at it. Alrighty, so we're getting into our first game here with Swampert. Going against Border Games, we see Psychic, Steel, and Colorless. So could be a Mega Mewtwo, perhaps. I'm not sure what the Steel would be, but let's see what we see here. Could be a Jirachi maybe. We do get heads, so we are going to be able to go first, which is great. And let's see if we start Talonflame. We do, in fact, this is a really great hand. We've got Talonflame and double Mudkip. And we've also got a Marshtomp in hand. We also have an Energy, so this is looking quite good. We're going to put down 2 Mudkips, and we're definitely going to Skyla this turn. I'm not sure what I want to Skyla into. Trubbish is not good. We don't really want them to be shutting off our diving search, so we will attach an Energy. We could attach to the bench and then maybe be able to get a Swampert next turn, but I don't know. I don't really trust that as working out so well. We're going to Skyla for... we could grab a Dive Ball so we get the guaranteed rare candy next turn. And then we Aero Blitz. That seems like a decent idea. We could also make sure we get energy next turn, or a supporter like Sycamore. We've got a few options for sure. I think we can play this a little slow. So what I'll do is I'll make sure we can get, let's see, I guess I'll go for the Dive Ball. I think that seems good. That seems good to me. We could also grab Manaphy maybe. We could actually grab a Manaphy this turn, but I think what we'll do is we'll just wait. We'll see what we want to get. Maybe our opponent will end us. You never know. So we will just end our turn, and we'll see what happens. Skyla is good to have in the discard too, because then you can just versus Seeker to, if you need to grab like a rare candy or whatnot. So let's see what Border Games has for us. We see a Parallel City, not too bad. We do have a Counter Stadium in hand, and they're doing it so that the water types do less damage. So that seems like a smart play from them. We do see an N. Now we do only play the 2 Rough Seas. Of course we do have Puzzle of Time, and wow, our opponent end us into a really, really, really good hand. We see a Crushing Hammer missing. Wouldn't have been too consequential. We see a Scizor coming down. Okay, so it's a Mega Scizor deck. That makes sense too. How does that affect us? Well, the great thing is Mega Scizor cannot one-hit Swampert, so that's actually going to be very much in our favor. So So we're going to Rare Candy into one of our Swamperts, and then I guess we'll probably we'll just evolve to Marshtomp. We will Dive Ball for... I know that there's... the Trubbish is there, but... I also don't really know if I want to end this turn. I think I might not want to end. And just see if my opponent can get themselves out of this, because... yeah, they only have 2 cards in hand. We could end and try and like get double attachment this turn. But I'm going to grab Manaphy, because if we can stop them from getting the Garbodor out, that's going to be pretty big. And they didn't put a Floatstone down last turn, so that's kind of encouraging. Now, it's not worth Aero Blitzing and Diving Search, because when you Aero Blitz, then you shuffle your deck. So we will just attach to Swampert, and then we're going to Aero Blitz. So let's see, what do I want to grab here? I think the Counter Stadium could be important. I'm going to grab Professor's Letter. And I think the Counter Stadium seems good. Of course, they can discard Stadiums as well. Maybe not as useful. There's not a whole lot that we honestly need, though. I could grab EXP Share. I could grab a different supporter. Yeah, let's do that. Let's actually just grab a Sycamore. And then that way we can play our whole hand out. And then, of course, if our opponent has an end next turn, that's fine with us as well. Don't mind that too much. Let's see, can they get the Floatstone down? Or we'll be able to take a knockout here. Now, of course, if we can take a knockout on this Trubbish, we're just going to probably do it with Aero Blitz. That would be the ideal way. Although they do have a Hoopa. So that is going to allow... well, let's see. Our opponent's bench is actually limited to only 3 Pokemon. So we're probably going to see a Mega... oh, yeah, and a Shaman. So, well played by our opponent, but they do have 2 liabilities on their bench that they don't like having. They're just bench setters that don't do them much good. They are going to get a Shaman for it. Let's see. It's just going to be 5. Yep. Which is obviously good, but... I mean, maybe they can bump their own stadium. We wouldn't mind that by any means. We just get Trainer's Mail. Do they get a Floatstone? That's the big question at this point. We see an N, so they're going to probably N us here, which, like I said, is really fine with us. Yeah, that's okay with us. Would like to get some energy, though. Again, the question is, do they have a Floatstone? So we do have double energy attachment for next turn, so we will be able to power up Swampert. And the great thing is that even with Garbodor out, we can still use Alpha Growth, because it's not an ability. And we do see a Trainer's Mail out of our opponent. What are they going to grab? We see a Crushing Hammer. This could be a little annoying if they discard the energy from Swampert. But in general, it's not that big of a deal for us. So you do see the Crushing Hammer heads. Will they take it off the Swampert? They do. Now, again, the question is, do they have a Floatstone? If not, we weren't going to attack with Swampert this turn anyway because of Trubbish. Actually, the great thing, too, is that Mega Scizor only does 120, so they also can't knock out Talonflame. So it's actually, the math is just really good for us in this matchup. They could play something like Giovanni's Scheme, which would throw things off for sure. But... it'd be kind of odd, like, it doesn't really benefit them much. So, looks like they are going to get a Garbodor. Again, the question is, do they have a Floatstone, though? How good is my opponent's hand? And we just see a pass. So that's good for us, definitely. We're going to Level Ball here. We're going to grab another Mudkip. And be happy they didn't limit our bench. We're going to double attach to Swampert for sure. And we would have actually attacked with Swampert to get a knockout here, but now we can't. And instead of discarding this Puzzle of Time, I'd rather just grab another one and play a double puzzle. That would be very, very cool. So that's what we'll do. We'll just Aero Blitz. We'll play the slow game. We'll get ourselves set up. And I think that benefits us quite a lot. So we're definitely going to grab a Puzzle of Time. And what else do we grab? Maybe Professor's Letter again? Or a Splash Energy would be good. We'll grab Professor's Letter. And that way, we have a pretty good chance of being able to two-hit Mega Scizors. So that's kind of the plan there. The question is, what does our opponent have? Hopefully they don't have a supporter. We see a Super Rod. Just grabbing Mega Scizor. And do they have a supporter? They do have a Sycamore. So unfortunately they do have a Sycamore, but fortunately for us they don't have an N. And they do discard a Scizor, so that's good for us. We do see the Floatstone, so unfortunately we don't have abilities anymore, which is a little disappointing. But we do see the Scizor come up, and let's see what happens here. I mean, I think we're still in a very, very good position. Just hope that our opponent doesn't play something like Giovanni's Scheme. That could put a damper on things. Maybe we could have grabbed, as our other card, maybe it would have been good to grab a EXP share. So we're going to see the Iron Crusher, and will they discard the Stadium? I could imagine them doing that. Yeah, Splash Energy is not as good because they can discard it. So they do discard the Stadium. We get a Marshtomp, so we will evolve. Actually, I was going to Rare Candy, but we'll do that. And then I guess we'll double Puzzle. We don't even really... it's like we don't even need it, but we might as well do it, I suppose. We'll grab a Dive Ball, so we can get another Swampert. We can set up yet again. Actually, maybe that's the play. Is just to grab Skyla, and then we can Skyla for our EXP share, and then we're more set for like the following turn, in case there is some sort of weird turn from our opponent. They can get, you know, yeah, I think I like this because we already have the Professor's Letter. So this way we can Dive Ball, grab a Swampert. It looks like all of them are in the deck, so that's good. How much energy do we have left? We only have 2 basics left. Yeah, all the better to be grabbing. All the better to be grabbing a EXP share. So both the EXP shares are there. Healing Scarf. Healing Scarf could actually be good in this matchup. I could actually see it coming in handy. So we're going to Professor's Letter. Unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to use Diving Search quite yet, but maybe later in the game. And we will double attach to the Swampert. We're going to put a big hit onto our opponent here, and as well as preserving the Talonflame, which is really good. It's always nice to still have that Talonflame for later use. And then if for some reason they try and knock it out later, we can keep the energy because of the EXP share. So I think EXP share is actually a very, very underrated tool in Standard right now because of the lack of tool discarding. EXP share preserves energy. It makes it so you don't have to Super Rod as often or Super Rod for energies. In decks with basic energy, I think it's just very, very strong and perhaps overlooked. Now, we see a Scizor coming down, which makes sense. And do we see a supporter out of our opponent? Maybe a VS Seeker here. Just another Sycamore. So they are getting very clean hands off. See, they've played 2 N, 2 Sycamore, 1 VS Seeker. Nothing too out of the ordinary. We see a Trainer's Mail. They do grab a Floatstone, which not sure what good that'll necessarily do for them. And our hand is good, obviously. We just get a Sycamore next turn. Almost certainly that's all we'll do. They do put down a Cobalion. We don't mind the Cobalion too much. Revenge Blast could be important later. And we do just see the Iron Crusher doing 120 and not taking a knockout, which is great. We get a Fisherman here. There's only 1 energy in the discard, so it's not worth it. And let's see here. We do get a Splash Energy. I just want to check. Yeah, so they can only discard from our active with that. We're going to put down another Swampert. Well, do I Rough Seas or not? Because they can just discard the Rough Seas. That might not really even be useful. 60. If they had... Yeah, if they hadn't got that Crushing Hammer earlier, we could just use Talonflame to take the knockout here. But I really do want to take the knockout on this Swampert, or I mean on this Scizor. I mean, like, we could play it slow and retreat, but then maybe they would start to retreat. So I'd rather be on the offensive. As long as we get an energy attachment here, I think we're safe for another Swampert. And yeah, no need to put the Stadium down because they'll just discard it. And then, yeah, and then we'll be able to Super Rod next turn. So at least we'll get a knockout here. We'll do 160. And we'll see, can we get an energy here? We do get one and a VS Seeker, so that's good. We could Skyla for something, perhaps Fisherman. Fisherman would be really good next turn, actually. That way we can get our double attachment for sure. We see Hoopa come up, and most likely we will see a Scizor come up. Will they go? I mean, they can do pretty much anything to knock us out. They could even Sky Return, which wouldn't be surprised if they go for the Sky Return play. I think that would actually be the best play. We'll see if they do that, though. And even if they do Sky Return, what do they Sky Return into? We don't really care about that too much. Now we do see an N, but I think all we really need here is a VS Seeker. That'd be good, and then we can Fisherman. So nice to actually get the Fisherman in the discard pile. And we get a Puzzle, Sycamore. Okay, we do see an Enhanced Hammer. That could be... That is a little bit off-putting. That's a little annoying. Now we see the Mega Scizor come up, actually. So they are going to take a knockout with Mega Scizor, which I think is a little strange. We don't need much to get the... get an attack off with Swampert this turn. So we'll send up Talonflame because we got free retreat. And we're probably going to have to Sycamore in this hand even though we have a puzzle in it. Yeah, I think we have to. We could end, but we really want to get this attack off here. And it's nice to also discard that Talonflame. We don't get the double. We don't get the double energy. We'll put down EXP share. That's definitely good. I think there's one more Mudkip left. We'll grab that. And then we'll put that down. Still no need to put down Rough Seas. I think the attachment goes to the other Swampert, or it could actually go to Mudkip. I think it goes to this other Swampert. Now I'm wondering if Manaphy was maybe just not worth putting down because it can get one hit by a Mega Scizor. But I think what we'll do is we'll grab a VS Seeker. That way we can grab Fisherman. So we'll do... or I already have a VS Seeker. We'll do an attachment... Yeah, because we can just do 130 twice. That's good. So we'll just do an attachment here. We will Arrow Blitz. And of course the prize, the 2-for-1 prize trade here is great. Let's grab... Splash Energy. Grab Healing Scarf. Ace Trainer. Let's see, we'll grab a Rare Candy. We already have the Swampert, so we can do a Rare Candy Swampert next turn. And let's see, Rare Candy and what else would be good to grab? There's not a whole lot of things that we need right now. I guess we'll grab Super Rod. That seems solid. We'll grab Rare Candy and Super Rod. Now, our opponent will probably try and end us if they have the opportunity. But I think we have... I mean, there's mostly good cards to draw into. An end to 4 plus the one card we draw. Out of 5 cards, I think we should be able to get a VS Seeker. So we haven't played a single one yet. We do see a Flare Grunt, which doesn't matter to us at all. I think they're just playing it to play it. And now what do we do here? So we're going to send up Swampert. And we are going to be able to... Oh, I see. Yeah, it does matter because then we didn't get a... attach it. That would have been nice. So we're going to Rare Candy Swampert. We've got all of our Swamperts out so far, which is very nice. Let's see, how many Rare Candies do we have? We have 1 left. And we're going to Versus Seeker. I just want to make sure I don't forget to do this. We're going to Versus Seeker for Fisherman. And we're going to play Fisherman. We'll grab 4 Waters back. We are going to double attach. Won't put down Rough Seas yet. I don't think we might as well put down the Healing Scarf. Just get it out of our hand for making us more end-proof, and we can Super Rod this turn. We'll Super Rod back Swampert, Mudkip, and Energy. That's great, actually. Might have been good to get back a Marshtomp, but that's okay. And then we'll just Hydro Pump. No need, again, to put the Stadium down. They'll just discard it. We do 130. So... yeah, I mean, we should be able to knock out this Mega Scizor next turn. And then our opponent is probably going to try and retaliate with a Cobalion. But we are going to be safe here from a knockout. And I think what we'll probably do is we'll probably just attack again with this Swampert, even though it's going to be heavily damaged. That'll be fine with us. I think the real question is, where do I double attach to? Right, because I could double attach to the one with the Healing Scarf, but then neither of them has a guarantee to have the energy. We do see a Crushing Hammer, and okay, so that's good not to see that hit. Although I don't know how much it'll really matter. We do see another Trubbish come down. It does not look like we're going to be doing any diving searching, and we do see, okay, so they're going to limit our damage, which also allows them to discard Shaman and the Trubbish they just put down. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have put the Trubbish down. I think maybe they shouldn't have. Let's see, we do see, do they discard the Stadium here? We'd love it if they do, but I don't think they will. Yep, they don't. And we get a Rough Seas, but unfortunately we can't retreat with Manaphy, so it's just not worth putting it down at this point. Well, actually, I guess it is. It could be. I've only played one Stadium now. So I think we're going to double attach here. I just don't like not having another attacker. We'll do that. And yeah, I mean, we don't have to switch the Stadium out now. And then we'll end. Our opponent basically, it just allows us to draw a couple more cards. Okay. So we'll Dive Ball. Get a Mudkip. Thin our deck out a bit. We do have a Lysandre, which is nice. And then we will be able to take a knockout here. Doing 110 because of the Stadium. And we're in a really good shape here. We're up on prizes, and we can potentially Lysandre. Let's see. I mean, I think we just need to play it slow, probably. So what we'll probably do is just, they'll attack with Cobalion here. And then we knock out the Cobalion. I guess what I'm more concerned about is if they can get off, let's see, a Steel Wing. Because they could take a knockout with a Steel Wing. We might be able to return knockout, though. Excuse me. We might be able to return knockout. Let's see. Because 130, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yeah, so if we get knocked out, and we can get a double attachment, like if we draw an energy. This is where Diving Search would be so great. Guaranteeing ourselves an energy attachment next turn would be so good. But we do see the Revenge Blast. Because if we draw the Splash Energy or the regular energy here, then we just win. Oh shoot, the Stadium. Yeah, no, we still win because we can Lysandre Hoopa. Yeah. So let's see if we can top deck the energy. Oh shoot. Oh, okay, actually. All right, so our opponent just concedes, and there you go. You can see Swampert not all that bad of a deck. Going up against Mega Steelix deck, or it's not Mega Steelix, Mega Scizor deck, and as you see, just the numbers worked for it. I mean, the numbers. The thing is that 140 is not a lot of HP, but there's a lot of stuff trying to hit 130 and 110 right now, and so as a result, I like Volcanion, for example, hits for 110 or 130, and so you can get into certain situations where the math just works out well for you. Also, Volcanion's popular, which always helps us out. So you can see what happened there. Pretty good game there. Alrighty, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We will see you with hopefully another Talonflame Tuesday next week. That's the goal. And hopefully I'll get a video out or two in between. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And hey, what do you know? We brought back the end card. If you want to check out last Tuesday's Talonflame Tuesday video, you can click the video on the left. And if you want to check out a playlist of the videos from my last tournament, click on the video on the right. Thanks for watching. Bye.